Welcome to the Quick Start tutorial on animation tools. Clicking the arrow at the very bottom of the interface will open and close the animation editor. In the animation editor, you can record and adjust the animation. The animation editor interface is mainly divided into three parts. At the top left is the animation editor toolbar. In the toolbar, you can find the tools to record, play and edit the animations, or capture the video. Besides, you can set the settings here. Below the animation editor toolbar is the animation timeline. The animation layers and those keyframes of avatar or garment animation are here. On the right of the animation editor is a quick menu used to quickly set animation options. First, for recording garment animation, you can load an avatar with animation. When loading avatars, you can choose to directly use the default avatars in the library window or import the model created in other 3D software. When you choose to use the default avatar, you can drape the garment on the avatar in T-pose first. Then load a motion file from the avatar's motion folder. In the Open Motion dialog, please toggle on Move Avatar and Garment to start position and transition animation. This option will help you to move garments close to the avatar where the animation starts. And transition animation is created in the animation timeline. The avatar's pose will be changed through the transition animation. Then you can start to record the animation from T-pose and get a smooth transition to the main animation. You can also use a model created from other 3D software as an avatar. Go to Main Menu File Import and select the file format you're going to import. If you want to import the avatar with animation, you can use FBX, Alembic, or USD file. In the pop-up window, please set the object type as avatar. Then toggle on the joint animation and cache animation. Then set the scale, axis conversion as desired. Also, you can toggle on the option to move garment to start position. Now, you can drape the garment on the avatar and prepare to record the animation. If the avatar animation is start with T-pose or A-pose, it's convenient to drape the garment on it. But if it's not, we could use morph target to make the garment fits the posed avatar. In this example, the avatar is not in T-pose or A-pose where the animation starts. We could export the avatar at start frame as an OBJ file. Then import the T-pose or A-pose avatar through OBJ file and drape the garment on it. Toggle on Automatically Add Arrangement Points. It's easier for arranging and draping the garments. After your garments drape well on the avatar, we are going to use Morph Target to change the avatar's pose. Import the OBJ file of the avatar at the start frame and set the object type to Morph Target. The morphing frame count is the count of the transition frames. The more it is, the longer it takes to change the pose, and it will be more stable. Here we set it as 99. Click OK and see how it goes. The garment changes as the pose changes. Now we're going to load the avatar with animation to replace the static avatar. Now you can see the avatar is changed. The animation is shown in the animation timeline. We will set the animation settings before recording. Here you can adjust the frame rate of the animation. You can toggle to other common FPS or set it manually. Once it's changed, the frame counts will be changed too. You could choose to keep all the keyframes at current frames when changing the FPS. Those frames will be fixed at current frames. Change the FPS back to 30. When we are simulating the garment on the static avatar, we use normal, default, simulation asset. But it's not stable or accurate enough for recording animation. We recommend using animation, stable. Record again. You will see the skirt is no longer rebounding strongly. You could also set the simulation quality as custom and input the value. The higher it is, the higher simulation quality is, and more time it takes to record. For animation, stable, asset, the simulation quality is 5. So if you want to find a balance setting between animation and normal simulation asset, you can set the value between 1 and 5. In the play type, you can change the play unit in frames or seconds. Then we could set the playback start-end. The start and end frame will also affect the recording region. Scene time warp is used to set up time warping. If your avatar moves too fast, it might cause collision or intersection on garments. Then you can set it to higher to warp the time. Record the animation again. Let's have a look at the difference. You can see that setting the scene time warp to higher will make the garment simulate more stable. Once the animation is recorded as desired, you can change the scene time warp back to 1. You can set the unit of the animation timeline as second or frame. You can set some animation settings in the quick menu as well. Before we start to record the animation, we could adjust the particle distance to lower to make the simulation more stable. For the big patterns, we recommend you to set it below 10. For small patterns, set it below 5. Since we might have adjust the simulation quality or particle distance, it will be better to activate simulation before recording animation. Then click Record button to record the animation. There will be a new animation layer and the garment animation keyframes are created here. Click Record button again to stop the record. If the time slider is not in the playback region, the animation will still be recorded from the start frame. Every time you click the record button to record animation, there will always be a new animation layer. The animation will keep recording until the end frame or until you stop it. Here are some tips for recording animation. First, please set the pattern layer back to 0 before recording the animation. When the pose changes, the pattern might get in touch with each other, and the layer setting is no longer suitable for this situation. Adjust the layer back to 0. Record again, and you will see the patterns no longer intersect with each other. When you need to avoid the garment slipping, you can use Pin to pin the pattern to avatar. Select Pin tool and click on the pattern to create a pin, then right-click on it. Select Attach Pin to Avatar. Now the vertex will be fixed to the avatar. You could also create pin in a larger area and attach it to the avatar. Also, using tack tools or setting the friction of fabric to higher could help to avoid pattern slipping. When adjusting or recording animation, please be aware that if you're taking some steps that cause the meshes or vertices change, the animation will be deleted. When the animation is deleted, we will only have the static garment mesh at the current frame. So please make sure that the time slide is at the start frame if you're going to proceed some steps that might cause the animation delete. We can add keys for pins or wind controllers to make various simulation effect. Select the pin and right-click on the time slider line. Select Add Pin Key. Right-click on the pin and deactivate it. Add Pin Key again to record the status of the pin. Repeat the step once again. You can see how the key works here. Similar to Pin Key, we can create Wind Controller Key to control the wind effect. Select Wind Controller, then select the settings that need to be stored in the key. In this example, we have selected to store translate and rotation information. You can translate and rotate the wind controller and add another key. Drag the time slider. You will find out that the wind controller are translating and rotating. You can also use key to control the wind effects as desired. Select the key, then right-click on it. You can delete the key in the pop-up menu. After the animation is recorded, we can play the animation. Click Play to play the play area or pause temporarily on the play area. Click Start to move to the beginning of the play area. Click End to move to the end of the play area. Click One Frame Back to step one frame back. Click One Frame Forward to step one frame forward. Activate Loop will repeat the play area. You can change the play speed as desired. You can input the values in the boxes to the left and right of the slide bar to set the widest range of view. Double-click on the slide bar to set the range of view to the playback region. You can click and drag the button to adjust the slide bar length. Click Fit Horizontal could also set the range of view to the playback region. After the slide bar fits range of view, you can drag it to either side. If animation exists at the same frames in two animation layers, the keyframes from the top layer give priority. Animation layers can be reordered by clicking their title and dragging up or down. Animation layers can be moved horizontally by double-clicking to highlight them, then dragging them left or right. Animation layers can also be moved by right-clicking and selecting Move Layer horizontally, then entering a specific number and selecting OK. To lock the animation layer, select the Layer Lock marker. Then you cannot select the animation layer and adjust them. To hide all animation for a layer, deselect the Layer Visibility marker. Now you can preview the animation of the bottom layer. To hide keyframes for a layer, deselect its Keyframe Visibility marker. Since these keyframes are hidden, you cannot select them or adjust them. The animation is still visible here. Double-click on the name of animation layer, then you can adjust the name of it. Right-click on the layer name. You can select to delete or rename the animation layer. We could use the Merge, Cut, and Delete tool to adjust the animation layer. Select the animation layer, drag the time slider, and click Cut to cut the animation layer based on current frame. Hold down on Control key, then you could select or deselect the animation layer. Select more than two animation layers, click Merge to merge them. If the merge effect is not as desired, we could easily press Ctrl-Z to undo the step. Then select the unnecessary animation layer and click Delete button to delete it. Now let's have a look at adjusting the keyframes. There is a small intersection between the finger and the garment. Select the keyframe, then select Delete Keyframe in the right-click pop-up menu. Empty space left between keyframes will be transformed linearly. For small errors, problematic frames can be selected and deleted individually. To select a range of keyframes, hold down the Shift key, then click and drag across the animation timeline. Between existing frames, patterns can be adjusted and even re-simulated in the 3D window. Drag the time slider to the empty space, then adjust the position of the patterns or re-simulate. You can key the patterns in place using either the Create Keyframe button in the Animation Editor toolbar or the S hotkey. Now you can see the empty space left between keyframes will be transformed linearly. You can re-record the animation between the space and merge them into the original layer. Drag either end of the playback timeline. You can adjust the start or end frame. Copying and pasting keyframes is possible through the right-click menu or by using the Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V hotkeys. By copying and pasting single keyframes, a loopable simulation cache can be produced. Click the video capture. You can easily capture the animation in 3D window. Set the video size in the display option and set the save path in the file option. Then click Capture to capture the whole playback region's animation and save them in your computer. After recording the animation, you can export the animation through File Export, then select the file type as desired. If you want to separately save the garments, such as only save the skirt, you can hide the top by selecting them, then press Shift-Q. Then after you export the animation, you will see that only the skirt is exported with animation. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.